Can Liverpool find a way back into winning ways? They take on Bournemouth in the league in the quest for 3 points to push them closer to the title at the weekend. But then on Wednesday, they've got Atletico Madrid. Ali, it's crunch time. They're out of the FA Cup now, 3 defeats in the last 4. Serious problem or just a little blip that they're going to solve at the weekend at home against a relegation-threatened team?
It's a problem, but I don't think it's a serious problem. It'll become a serious problem once and if they are bounced out of Champions League. I think that Liverpool right now, it's running into some of the same struggles they've had over the course of the season, but that they've been able to maneuver around, to circumvent some of those issues by finding ways to win games. But there's been a vulnerability about Liverpool that is not, in some ways, showing up in the standings in the league. Because you may think, having seen Liverpool play, you may think, there are moments in which they are vulnerable, and yet they continue to win. But it should be closer than what it is. And the truth is that they're running away with it. And because they're running away with it, sometimes it's just natural for players to just kind of take a step back and just kind of take a break mentally. And when that happens, that intensity, that urgency, that willingness to play with that high level of energy that is very much the hallmark of Liverpool is not quite there. So now you're not first to the ball as you once were. Now you're not winning the 50-50 challenge. Now you're not pressing together. Now other teams are able to break through you and find an opportunity to score. And in doing that, that's when you run into trouble, and that's when you find yourself losing to Watford 3-0, in which Watford was very much a team that had momentum in terms of the physicality of the game, and Liverpool just kind of was not quite feeling it. You would not have seen that from Liverpool earlier in the season, I don't think. But because you are where you are in the league, you take a break. And when you take a break, you get punished. I think now Klopp will have the attention of the players and say, all right, we've shown that we can lose. And we can lose 3 out of 4. So we went from being invincible to, well, now I'm very invincible. And so if I'm the club, this is what I'm talking. This is what I'm saying. I said, you know what? Great. We put that behind us. But now the real version of Liverpool has to show up because it's a critical week for them. It's
a good fixture for them against Bournemouth, but they are without 2 cornerstones of the team, 2 very important pieces that sometimes, I know we've talked about seemingly every part of the team as being important, but without Alisson, without Henderson, they have struggled to get some results. It looks as if Alisson's going to miss the Atletico Madrid game as well. They hope to have Henderson back. He's a key part of that team. You can see that the win percentages with both of them in the team, it's the same percentage, 82% of their games won. Without, it drops all the way off to 58%, 67%. It's key that they're back for Wednesday, or at least Henderson is back for Wednesday. Is it going to be a situation that the Champions League is in grave danger, regardless, without Alisson in goal?
It's in danger, but I wouldn't say grave danger. The Alisson one, a big deal, however, not as big a deal as Henderson, because I don't anticipate Bournemouth or Atletico Madrid creating that many opportunities. And so you have to imagine that even though Alisson is not on the field, he wouldn't have been called upon to make that many saves in either one of these games. Henderson is important and critical because he seems to be the engine of this team through the midfield. If nothing else, a presence of leadership and a player who people just kind of look to as to what the status of the team is. And if he is high energy, if he is high intensity, everybody seems to feed off of that, just his mere presence. And I think if you're going to be successful against Atletico Madrid, you have to be able to squeeze Atletico Madrid and squeeze the life out of Atletico Madrid and do so with energy, with intensity, with spirit. All the things that we've come to expect from Liverpool, they're going to have to do against Atletico Madrid so that Atletico Madrid cannot at any point breathe. And if you don't allow them to breathe, you don't allow them to get out, they don't get out in transition, they're not going to hurt you in the counter, and it doesn't matter that Alisson is not in goal. However, if that presence is not there and you don't quite have that energy and you don't quite have that intensity, then Atletico Madrid may grow in confidence, and that's when Liverpool may get into trouble. Liverpool has to find that energy once again and be in the front foot and be willing to defend in the attacking half and cause turnovers in the attacking half and go and attack from there. And then your front three has to be at their very best in putting the ball away and making sure that Atletico Madrid has no life in this match.
So come the weekend, you back them to end their scoreless streak in front of goal, get the 3 points against Bournemouth, get Henderson back, turn it around against Atletico Madrid?
Here's the thing. If you didn't play your top team against Chelsea in FA Cup, it's because you're saying, I'm trying to build momentum in this Bournemouth game to what's going to happen in the midweek, and I need to get some consistency for the team and confidence and a team that feels good about themselves. Well, the only way to do that is by winning and scoring goals, and now you feel like, okay, all right, bring Atletico Madrid, we're ready for this. If that's the case and they get through the Bournemouth match feeling good about themselves, then it's going to be very difficult for Atletico Madrid to hang on. Atletico Madrid can't just come into Anfield and say, well, we're just going to defend. At some point, they have to be a threat. I don't think that they're going to be, and it's hard to see how they hang on if, and this is the big if Liverpool find the best version of who they can be and have been at times this season.
So you're on the Stevie Nicol side of the FC debate. Play your strongest possible team against Bournemouth, get the points in the bag, get the confidence back.
I'm in the Steve Nicol corner, having seen what the decision was in FA Cup. If you did that in FA Cup and it was sort of a mixed bag of players, you know, some part-time starters, some young guys, so on, it's because you're saying, you know what, this wasn't so important. But the lead up to what Atletico Madrid is going to be, that's where we try to generate the momentum and generate what we really need to have in order to beat Atletico Madrid. That's the only thing that would make sense to me. That's why you made that decision, because you're preparing for what's ahead.
Okay, well, we'll see if that is how it plays out. They need a maximum still of 12 points in the Premier League. That's if Manchester City win their game in hand and all the remaining games. We'll see if 3 points come calling at Anfield against relegation-threatened Bournemouth at the weekend.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.